How do we play Jin? So Jin, essentially, we just dominate mid-range. Honestly, we dominate mid-range with 4-4, back 2-1, down 4-1, 4, and all the sorts. Crouch dash 3 is like a do-it-all move. People sleep on this. This move's like do-it-all. So is Zen 3.
Oh yeah.
Safe on block, spin stage, mad plus, and it's calculator launcher.
Oh, which one?
Yeah, I thought you were gonna do it. Yeah.
Oh, this? Both of them?
Good as fuck.
Right.
Yeah, they pretty much function the same.
Okay.
They essentially function the same. They just look a little different. So that's what we do at mid range. Up close, we just, if they're like super panicky and just scared as shit, we just do 2-1, down 4-1, down 4, 4-4. And if you're me, I'm the only one that does this. I do down back 3. Even though this move is unsafe, nobody punches it ever. I like to do down back 3 a lot, high crush, and you get guaranteed. You don't get anything guaranteed, but you get a nice little mix up between a 4-4-4 or a thrust fist, whatever the fuck that shit's called. I forgot what that shit's called.
Yeah, hook fist, whatever.
Yeah. So that's what you do in close range to mid range. Long range, you're kind of shit out of luck. You really ain't got nothing to do. But that doesn't really matter because Jin can get in kind of whenever he wants with a wave dash pretty fast. So long range doesn't really matter. Now, once you start to scare them with your close range game and your mid range game, that's when you start to play patient, play a little slow, and try to bait out whiffs and go for whiff punches. You don't have to always electric when hook fist because, you know, execution ain't gonna always be on point. You can go take it back 2-1, take a 4-4, or go for a whiff punish. Go for a whiff mix-up, is what they like to call it, a whiff mix-up. You can go for a hell sweep, or you can keep it safe for 4-4-3. What else? That's pretty much all you have to do with Jin. Now, that's neutral. After that, it comes down to a lot of combo optimization because with this character, you have to be like extremely optimal in order to get the best out of him. So knowing what to do at the 4-4-4, if you can't counter hit confirm, if you can't get the pickup off of 4-4 by itself counter hit, then you may want to lean towards more going into Zen and practicing the Zen cancel. This is important too. 4-4 Zen cancel. You got like if you don't have this, there's no point in playing Jin. Like honestly, there's literally no point in playing Jin if you can't Zen cancel that.
Okay.
But it's extremely easy. It's extremely easy. You just do 4-4-4 or with the Zen cancel. You'll have to go into Zen and you just do down forward extremely fast.
Okay.
And you hold back and you're safe.
And then typically you're supposed to do the wall standing forward, back to 1 or something.
If they block it, no.
Are you talking I'm talking about like on counter hit, yeah.
Oh, on counter hit, the combo the safest combo is probably forward 4 into hook fist, back to 1.
Oh.
1-2-4, into back to 1.
Okay.
The hard combo is like this. Oh shit. That's the hard combo.
Oh, I'm doing.
So you don't really have to technically do that one. Honestly, the hook fist one is just as good. Honestly, I recommend you probably just stick with that one because that's really all you really need for now. If you want to like,
you don't even have to do
the
electric. You know.
No, you don't need to No, you don't have to electric. No.
Okay.
That would be extremely hard.
Right.
No, you don't have to do that. You just do regular hook fist. You do regular hook fist, and then you go into back to 1-2-4, and then usually the ender is just back to 1.
Okay.
You can do crouch dash 3-1, zinc into 4 into 3, but that is a little bit tighter.
Right.
That requires a little bit more practice. So yeah, zen cancels for that is also it's extremely essential. Also, if you like to use the laser scraper mix up, because this is a high.
Can you duck that?
You can't duck this. Yeah, you can't duck this. But
Oh,
he has
okay.
the mid. He
Right.
has the mid, which will check you, and you can go into zen from this, and you can get a mix up if it hits.
Okay.
But a lot of people don't know about this. This is -12.
Right, it's -12.
Myself, this is -12.
And then
So
in
you have
Zan,
to
he
go
can't
into Zen and
block.
cancel it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you can cancel it. You can cancel it and be safe.
Okay. You just tap
That's why I'm saying.
down forward or tap forward.
You go into forward,
And then-
forward for the Zen, and then you tap down forward and then go back immediately.
Okay.
So it's down forward back.
Oh wait, my bad. Bro.
Like that. So
Okay,
and then you just tap down forward and then back immediately.
Okay. Oh, whoops. Look like I will have to practice this.
Play practice. You don't normally play characters with back 4 motions, do you?
Mm-mm.
Right? Yeah, you don't play a lot of characters with back 4 motions, so it's gonna take some practice. It's just really, it's pretty difficult to do if you don't do it often. So you just gotta practice that.
Okay.
So what are we going over? We're going over 4-4. We're going over back 2-4. 2-1. Yeah, like 2-1. Like to go deeper into this move against people who can't stop mashing or are extremely scared up close. This is extremely good. You can play around this. You can just do 2-1, 2-1. Do a down back 4, do a down 4, and like honestly, you can just test them. It's like a free test with down 4-4. I mean with 2-1-4. Delay it for extremely long. You can delay it like crazy. And you can catch them, and this is all safe. You ain't gotta worry about it, and it's pretty hard to step. I think you step it left. Stepping it right will get you fucked up. I think stepping it left is the way you want to do it, but it's extremely hard to do. I think I had to delay it. Oh, it's probably right there. Yeah, it's right. Okay. I have to delay it in order for you to be able to step it.
Oh, wow.
That's what it is.
Okay.
That's why I was like, I used to get fucked up when I step right, but it's because people, they just go right into it. That is... Oh, down 3 too. I guess one thing to talk about, Season 2, Season 1, Jin was like pretty like straightforward, simple. He had like 3 amazing moves, and you just used those 3 amazing moves. In Season 3 and Season 4, you gotta kind of use the whole kit now. They really want you to explore with this character and use a lot of this shit, which is something that makes it kind
Is
of
this
fun.
interruptible?
Oh yeah, this is
yeah. Okay. But you could also just do forward.
You can do this. You can do 1-3. You can do 1 down 3. You can do stuff like that. So he has stuff to deter you from interrupting it.
Oh yeah, he could do the back.
Yeah, this is actually pretty good. I remember one time I was seeing when Tekken 7 before it came out, this Japanese gym player just loved to do 1-3 back, 1-3 back, and to see what they would do, and he'll whip punish with a rage art. So it's 13 frames.
Okay.
That's like a pretty good. That's like a pretty cool thing.
Cause most people don't use this.
Nah, it's kind of whatever. It's really kind of whatever. What else? So yeah, that shit is essentially really good. Something that you can also that people use a lot more in Season 3 is after 4-4-3. A lot of people don't know this, but you can essentially do any string extension after this. Any 1-2 string extension. So you can do one, like you can do 4-4-3-1. You can do 4-4-3-1-2. This. You can do this. You can do this. You can do a bunch of stuff.
Wait, you did the low? How did you do that?
I did
4-4-3, 1-3,
4-4-3, 1 down 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he has a lot of options to do out of this. You can also do this. Oh shit. Do that. And the cool thing about this one is that the jab will normally whiff. The first jab will normally whiff. And if the 2 counter hits, and they'll try to whip punish you, right? And if the 2 counter hits, the 4 is guaranteed.
Oh wait, oops.
Like,
okay.
That's guaranteed if that counter hits. A cool thing also about it too is that you can kind of just, you can't throw it out, right? Because this is duckable.
Right.
But if it hits, if 4-4-3 hits, you can still get a combo. You still get a combo like that.
Okay.
Round 6. Fight.
So that shit's good. Another thing that's super good that people use more is down 3. You can do down 3 by itself. You can do down 3-3. It's just not even fucking launch punchable anymore by all the like.
Yeah, it's minus 14.
Minus 14 now, so you can kind of get away with this.
Usually they use it at the end rounds.
You can use it at the end, but people starting to use it more like mid-match. Like I use this a lot more mid-match just to get some quick damage, and you go back to kind of.
Because you can't just. Oh, it's guaranteed. Straight up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is natural, and you kind of go back to neutral. You're back like at this range 2. Range 3-ish range where Jin kind of excels at, and you're 0 on hit. So it's just like, you know, if you try to dash in, you might get hit with a 4. If you want to play patient, you might get hit with a 4-4, back 2-1, stuff like that. So it's just like, that's why people are starting to use it more, because this, I think this got changed to have more pushback on hit. I can't remember for certain though, but it did change in Season 4 for the better, in my opinion. I think it got a damage buff too. I do believe that it got a damage buff. Back to 1. If you're never like super confident with forward pickups or just like your timing in general, back to one, it's just like you just this move does it the fuck off. Like,
Right.
It really does it all. Like there's nothing that. And thank God that they fucking buffed it in the last patch, so now you don't have to worry about this whiffing. The second hit will never whiff on you. I've yet to have this whiff on me yet. It used to whiff on me a lot before the patch. Now this never whiffs, and it's super reliable. You can just throw that out.
Okay. And I'm assuming it's hard to whip punish.
It's extremely hard to whip punish because, well, the first hit is extremely hard to whip punish because you're afraid to push any buttons. This is technically unsafe. This is
Right,
like
it's like
negative.
-10 or something.
Yeah, it's negative. But people don't like to push after this because they are so afraid of the extension, and the delay window is extremely long. So you can just kind of just do back two, if you want to, especially at the end of a round. At the end of a round, this shit fucks people up. Like that shit be scaring the fuck out of people. And sometimes you just finish it and you'll catch them. It's so hard for me to get people to mash on this string. I try to get them to mash, they never mash. So I just really just do back two. But I'm sure you can find somebody. You can find somebody that will mash on this eventually. But it's just like people respect it so much that they'll never try to. They'll almost never mash. What else you got? Some other shit that he talked about. I guess another thing is knowing how to, I guess, enforce the wave dash mix-up. His wave dash mix-up is strong, but it's not as strong as a traditional Mishima because all of his options out of the wave dash are normally slower. Like his hell sweep is slower, his 443 is slower, his 444 is slower. His hook fist is about the same, except for it has more whiff recovery than traditional electrics. What else? That's really it. So it's against defensive players who are extremely like sharp and adept at looking at paying attention to the mix-up. Be careful when you throw out things like Hell Sweep or the Thrust Fist because this stuff is not it's not that good to throw out. Well, this specifically isn't really that good to throw out unless you got like a hard read if they're gonna hard duck or something.
Right.
Normally, if you wanna like with Jin, the whole idea is like you stay safe. You don't have to really take that many risks. So what you normally would like to do is do 444 to check, 443 to check. You can do CD3 to check. You can do out of a wave dash back 2-1 to check. You can do a lot. You can do down 4-1 to check. And the cool thing about him, Jin, compared to most Mishimas, is a big issue that I have with Mishimas and a lot of Mishima players have is that out of a wave dash, we get fucking Thunder Godfist a lot. We get that shit a lot. It's super annoying when we want to get a down 4-1. With Jin, that doesn't happen a lot. It doesn't happen a lot with his Thrust Fist.
Okay.
So you get the luxury of doing his down 4-1 out of a wave dash safer and more consistently than Mishima's. You have to be extremely, extremely sharp execution-wise to get the down 4-1 most of the time. That's something that you don't have to worry about with Jin.
Got it.
Stuff like that. What else?
Oh. You just step?
Yeah, it takes a little time. Yeah, you can just step. You can step out of it. It's essentially easy like that. I guess wall game too. You talking about wall game? Wall game is fucked up. I still don't know why this is jailing. This shit should fucking not jail. But, you know, jail's in safe. He has this back one, which is extremely good. It tracks to his weak side. It's extremely good. One thing that I like to do a lot at the wall is if I get a wall splat, I'll do 1, 2, 3, and then we all know the mix up. Down four is guaranteed. Can is not technically guaranteed to stay on the ground, but then you can mix it up with a down 2, OTG down 2, which will scare the fuck out of them. And if you can get to that layer and you got them scared of the OTG down 2, you can go for back 1, which is a safe wall bounce. You know, fuck it. Safe wall bounce. So that's a really strong and potent mix-up that a lot of people don't really use. Another thing that you can do at the wall is after a wall splat.
Oh, oops.
You can do this, and if they like the back row, you can make them guess between this or a down back 4. If they like to stay on the ground, you get a guaranteed OTG 2. There's a lot of shit that you can do with Jin at the wall. His wall games is kind of slept on. You can do a lot of shit. And also, if you don't like the fucking mix-up, you can take the guaranteed damage with his fucking laser geyser. Why they gave him that, you know, it's whatever.
Flip
That
over.
shit is super good. The only thing about that one though, most people who understand the system itself, you'll lose your wall advantage because you'll just tech away from the wall. You'll get a 50-50, but you just tech away from the wall. Just tech away from the wall, right? But you'll still get a 50-50. It's just not as potent.
Right.
So that's why sometimes I will like forego that ender and just keep you at the wall with either a savage sword or 1-2-3.
Okay.
One of those two. That's why I get that question a lot when I play Jin. They were like, "Why don't you always finish with the laser scraper extension?" I'm like, because I don't want to give up my wall positioning. If I keep my wall positioning, I'm gonna kill you. Like eventually, you're gonna crack and I'm gonna kill you. I don't need the damage or the flip over. I got faith in my mix up.
Right.
Let's see how that goes. Another thing to talk about is we talked about whiff punishment, but his block punishment is some of the best. This shit is essential. This is something I think if you play Jin, he will make you better at your other characters just because he's so focused on fundamental. He's so focused on the fundamental Tekken game. Kind of similar to Devil Jin, except for Devil Jin, he's a little bit more pushed into the sense where he can play safe, but you're gonna have to take a risk eventually that will more than likely get yourself killed, like a laser scraper mix-up, Hell sweep, up 4-4. Those moves are extremely like safe in hindsight, but against strong defensively minded players, you get blown up. You get blown up for it, and you eventually die. Like we've seen Double Jin players, some of the best Double Jin players just die because of that. But with Jin, it's more like he's more rooted in the fundamental. I kind of went off on a tangent about that, but back on the talk of defensive punishment. So we know about 2-4. 2-4 is super good, one of the best punches in the game. Knockdown, and you essentially get a pseudo, like you get pretty decent Oki after this. Like you can run up do a 4-4-3, you can run up do a 4-4-4, you can run up do a hell sweep, but they like to tag stuff like that. But they have options to like get out of that. It's not like it's not like the fucking end of the world if you get hit by this, but out in the open, it's not the end of the world. At the wall, it's a lot of fucking damage. It's a lot of fucking damage. The only downside about this is that you have to be wary on what you block, because some moves have incredible pushback, and this 2 does not have as good a range as some other punishers. Like this will just whiff like a lot, like often against certain moves, like certain like moves that are block punished. So that's why you have to know his whole entire like punishment sheet. 1+2, you can do 4-3. This is 12. This is a 12 frame mid that nobody talks about. It's safe. Down for 1-4, 14, 13 frames. Spin state, and you get really good. You get a really good mix up afterwards. You just pretty much get a guaranteed 4-4-3 attempt, 4-4-4 attempt, hell sweep, stuff like that. Or you can just get a down back 4. One of the two. So that's 13, and then at 14 you have hook fist. If you got the fucking sauce. Or if you want to play it safe, you could just do 4-1+2. And to be honest, 4-1+2 is better than hook fist once you're at a certain position on the stage, especially if there's a wall, because the wall bounce, and the wall bounce, that shit does dummy damage. That shit is ridiculous. For 15, he's blessed to have a fucking hop kick and fucking can-cans. More times than not, you're gonna want to do can-cans, but you have to be wary about can-cans because can-cans has weaker range than his hop kick. His hop kick has better range. The thing about this attack is that it's a 2-hit move. So the first hit, the range isn't as good as the second hit, and the second hit is a 22 frame move. So you got to add on the 15 frames to the 22 frames. If it's not gonna hit on the first hit, then just never try to punish anything that's -15 that won't connect with the first hit, and just go for hop kick. Just go for hop kick if you're not confident in the hook fist. Okay. Which is fair. Another thing to talk about too, and a lot of people don't use it like this, is I consider any character with a 13 frame rage art, I consider those 13 frame launchers. So he has a 13 frame launcher in rage art. So if you know what is -13 on characters that leaves them in standing, definitely use rage art as a punish, because that shit is super good. That shit is super good, especially at the wall. At the wall you get Oki. So it's a wall splat, and he's at a considerable advantage where if you don't get up, you eat a guaranteed down 4. You get up, you gotta eat a wave dash mix up, or you gotta eat a down back 4 or a down 4-1, you gotta go 2-1, and bro, the list goes on and on and on, essentially. That's like, pretty much, it's fucked up. It's super fucked up. Like, he can just do whatever the fuck he wants.
Time up.
So, that is pretty much it for standing block punishment. Crouching block punishment is pretty straightforward. He has a while standing 4. It's not the best while standing 4, but you know, it's pretty fucking good, especially out of a wave dash. Keep it safe. But he has 1-3, which is slept on like fuck. This move is super good. This shit is safe. Nobody talked about that. This shit is safe. He has a 14 frame while standing launcher and while standing 2, and God bless, this move got buffed to where it's not even a little. It's a lot more consistent. It's actually a lot more consistent now. Where on staggers, it would whiff on very low profiling stagger lows. So like Kunimitsu sidestep 4, Eddie slippery kicks, shit like that. It still whiffs quite a bit on Eddie slippery kicks. So what you have to do against Eddie is normally either a hot kick or a crouch cancel electric with hook fist, or a crouch cancel on can-cans.
Okay.
That's normally what you have to do against the slippery kicks, which is kind of fucked up, but I mean, it's this one issue that Jin has, so it's whatever.
Right.
This nigga's privilege. That's pretty much it. Oh, he has the delay hop kick too. Like, don't forget about the delay hop kick. Delay hop kick is extremely strong. He has pretty good combo off of it too. He has pretty good combo off of that. And I fucking dropped it. But my combos. That's while standing punishment. That's standing punishment. We went over whip punishers. We went over what to do in neutral. We went over what to do in mid range. We went over wall oki, and now essentially the last thing we gotta talk about is parry. There are some players that use parry. There's some players that don't use parry. I like to try and use parry whenever I can, whenever I remember to use it. But this requires you. This is one thing about Jin that Jin players don't get enough credit for. Is that when I talked about her range punch parry, it's always a consistent static plus 13. But with Jin, this is dynamic. It changes depending on what move you throw out. So you may throw out a move that is essentially -8, and I can't get anything. You know, there's moves like that exist. There might be something that's -10, and I get a 2-3. I get a 2-4. There may be something that's -15, and I get a hop kick. There's some shit that's probably -30, and I get a fucking delay hop kick. I got the sauce like that. There's a lot of shit that you have to be wary of with Jin when you go for the parry. So normally early on, I would just say stick to 2-4 if you don't know like what exactly is what on parry, because shit can definitely get you fucked up and killed. I would recommend though that you try and figure out what is -10, what's -13, and what's -15. Because at -10, of course you can get the 2-4. At 13, you get 2-4 still. But once you're in rage, you get parry rage art, which shuts everything. That actually fucking scares the fuck out of anybody. If you can do parry and you know what's -13 and go straight into rage art, you will scare the fuck out of a lot of people. But not only that, the cool thing about his parry when you're in rage is that there are some strings that you can parry, but you can't essentially interrupt. There's some things that you can parry, but you can't essentially interrupt. So in rage, you can parry, and then you go into rage art, absorb a hit, and go in, you know, get the fucking launch, which is fantastic. You can do shit like that. Then a lot of people don't seem to understand that little nuance about Jin. That shit is super strong and super good. And you know, for the 15s, you can just get like a hop kick or can-cans if you know, if you're ready, which is always good. There are some moves that are extremely safe to just throw out in some matchups, but against Jin, they're a little bit. You have to be a little bit more thought-provoking because he has parry. Like for example, running shoulder barge, the armor shoulder barge. Parry that, free launch every fucking time, free launch. You just can't run up and fucking shoulder barge against Jin. Well, I ain't want that one. Parry and you just can't can it. Oh, you gonna do it? Alright. Guaranteed every time. And look what happens. You just fucking lose half your fucking life.
Right.
What the fuck else am I missing? I think that's it. I think I covered almost everything that I need to cover about fucking Jin, honestly.
And he has a throw game too, right? Because QCF back.
Oh yeah, his throw game, yeah. He has complicated wire. Can you buffer that shit now? I think you can buffer complicated wire out of block. Yeah, you can buffer this shit now. A lot of people don't know about that. You can buffer that. He has a really good 2 throw, and then he has a 1+2 throw.
Right.
That shit is super strong, especially if they don't fucking break throws. That is something that you can definitely abuse. Is there anything else to fucking talk about? I don't know if there's anything else to talk about. I think that's really it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I covered everything. Went over parry, went over whiff punishment, what to do with neutral at close, medium, and long range. Block punishment, Zen cancels. Really, the only thing that's there's a few moves that are left out, but you know it's kind of whatever. Like you really
kind of experience, yeah.
Yeah. The only thing that's really left is really combos. One thing I also say too is back 3 also has a really good use now. Ever since season 3, once 4-4 got buffed, nerfed. I mean, buff nerf. I firmly believe that 4-4 got buffed for Jin mains that are like super crazy good. But for people like me who aren't a Jin main and I just play them on the side, back 3s are really good. Counter hit launcher functions almost the same as Jin's 4-4-4. It's the same speed. It's safe, and it also has a Zen cancel window where you can do the same stuff. And it's a knee.
Right, so they can't parry.
Fucking knee. Yeah, they can't parry it. Well, Jin can parry it, but you know, that's Jin. Soaking geese. Well, fuck geese.
And what, Leroy?
That's it. I guess another honorable mention, down 4-4. This move is really fucking good. Lemon likes to use this shit a lot. He'll do fucking down 4-4 and the fucking 4.
Because it's -3 on block.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking good. It's counter hit launcher. Counter hit launcher. You can get it's fucking. It's actually like the damage is actually like kind of fucking crazy. And I fucking dropped the combo. You know, whatever. Play that. It's fucking important. Yeah, he gets a lot of fucking damage off of that fucking off of this starter, which is like crazy. It's actually pretty fucking good.
Oh yeah, you could cancel that. I forgot.
Yeah, his raise drop can also be canceled. He has people talk about his raise drop like it's not good. It's one of the. It probably has the most utility. It probably has one of the most utility.
Is there an actual mix-up out of it, or is it just you kind of?
There's a mix-up, but the mix-up isn't extremely strong. So that's one thing I'll say. It's not the best